Hello, everyone. We are going to present our project that studies the theories on human-robot interaction and social robots. We focused on the questions such as what is a robot and social robots, and what is the matter with robots. We studied those questions with the Scott technological momentum and active network theory. With the Scott, we explain the reasons for different interpretations of robots with the social effect. With the technological momentum, we demonstrate the development of robots up until its current and possibly its next state. With the active network theory, we displayed the delegation of robots from humans to robots.
So we can begin with making the definition of social robots. Although the definition of robots alters from one culture to another, one country to another, it can simply be defined as a social robot is a physically embodied autonomous agent that communicates and interacts with humans on a social level, as Kate Darling states. So when we look at history of robots, automatons were one of the first robot-like structures. The Turk was an automaton constructed in 1770 by Wolfgang von Kempelen to impress the Empress Maria Theresa of Austria. The mechanism went to a tour along the Europe for entertainment purposes. It was a fake chess-playing machine from the late 18th century. So when we look at the origin of robot word first appeared in Rossum's Universal Robots of Karel Čapek to describe artificial people made in a factory. In his short story Runaround, Asimov defined the three laws of robotics as first, a robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Second, a robot must obey orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. And the third one is a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection doesn't conflict with the first or second law. When we look at the milestones in the history of robotics, Turing test is the most distinguished one. So the test is proposed by Alan Turing to define a distinction between communicating with a robot and communicating with a human. In the test, a person tries to understand the responses coming from a robot or from a real person. Turing test was necessary to define the capabilities of intelligent systems as well as robots. Nowadays, there are intelligent systems that is able to pass Turing test. Alternative versions of the Turing test is present in the literature. One of them, named reverse Turing test, has some applications via CAPTCHAs. In CAPTCHAs, a robot computer tries to detect whether the responding person is a robot or not. Here you can see the timeline of AI or robotics. From the time of introduction of Turing test to nowadays, the milestones in robotics and AI can be seen on this timeline. The abstraction of robots as well as their intelligence increases as the technologies gets more and more complex through the years. So one of the experiments that tries to understand robot perception is Chinese room experiment or argument that is claimed by Jean Searle. The video will introduce you the idea behind this argument.
60-second adventures in thought. Number 3, the Chinese room. Can a machine ever be truly called intelligent? American philosopher and Rhodes scholar John Searle certainly can. In 1980, he proposed the Chinese room thought experiment in order to challenge the concept of strong artificial intelligence, and not because of some 80s design fad. He imagines himself in a room with boxes of Chinese characters he can't understand and a book of instructions which he can. If a Chinese speaker outside the room passes him messages under the door, Searle can follow instructions from the book to select an appropriate response. The person on the other side would think they're chatting with a Chinese speaker, just one who doesn't get out much. But really, it's a confused philosopher. Now, according to Alan Turing, the father of computer science, if a computer program can convince a human they're communicating with another human, then it could be said to think. The Chinese room suggests that however well you program a computer, it doesn't understand Chinese, it only simulates that knowledge, which isn't really intelligence. But then sometimes humans aren't that intelligent either.
Another experiment in this area is Wizard of Oz experiment. So both of these naive experiments couldn't be sufficient to understand human-robot interaction. The Wizard of Oz experiment can be defined as the so-called wizard or practitioner tries to fake the interface program that the user controls, and this wizard acts as if an automated machine and tries to convince the user that the prompts are processed by an automated machine. Here you can see the system in the diagram, the experiment in the diagram.
Now I'm going to introduce the socio-technical issues on human-robot interaction we studied. First one is acceptance level of social robots by a different group of people. And second is ethics, laws, and policies designed for social robots. And the last one, the role of social robots in entertainment, healthcare, childcare, and education. First, I'm going to talk about acceptance level of social robots by society as a case study. According to Salvini, the acceptability of a technology by parameters with design issues such as relative advantage, compatibility, complexity, and cognitive style with the robots and in their interaction with the human is a cognitive process. We are going to study it by cognitive style. With the cognitive style, the uncanny valley phenomenon is an highly important concept to introduce the acceptance of a robot. According to Mori, the appearance of a robot is made more human. Some observers' emotional response to the robot becomes increasingly positive and empathic until it reaches a point beyond which the response quickly becomes strong revulsion. However, as the robot's appearance continues to become less distinguishable from a human being, the emotional response becomes positive once again and approaches human-to-human empathy levels. As you can see from the graph, the valley can be seen by the human likeness increase in the robot design with the affinity factor. We studied this case with Zlowski's research. They used two different robots. With one of them is highly human-like robot. The other one is mechanical. Although their functionality is same, their attitudes can be programmable. With the attitudes factor and repeated interactions with the robots, we can see the human likeness of the robots. It doesn't matter. With the positive attitudes, they can accept a robot highly with an increase. Likability and familiarity is depends on the repeated interaction with the robot. Although the human likeness still has the same. Although the human likeness has the same graph of valley, the family.
We can see the applications of social robots in childcare. Barakova et al. States a method to transform physical properties to emotions in children. So Laban movement analysis aims to make robots recognize emotions of children. And using Laban movement analysis, Barakova et al. Transform dynamic characteristics of the movement to Laban effort factors such as weight, time, and flow, and then transforms the latter to the four basic emotions: sadness, joy, fear, and anger. This study is focusing especially on the children with autism. So the study demonstrates the childcare purposes of social robots. So a child-sized robot designed to take on distinctly adult responsibilities takes the debate over the automation of human jobs to the next level, it says. The next one. So there are also robots designed for elderly people, and so Scott shows that this is especially for elderly people. These robots designed for especially elderly people. On the study of Cheetah Tegmark, we can see that they classified the actions of mediator robots for social management of health to 5 main actions. So changing how a person with a health condition is perceived is one of them. And the second is enhancing the social behavior of a person with a health condition. And third one is supporting the social behavior of healthcare providers, caregivers, and others. And the fourth one is providing structure to social interactions. And the fifth one is changing how a person with chronic illness feels in a social context. So these actions are delegated from humans to robots, social robots in healthcare. So challenges in these healthcare robots are defined as challenges in the well-being of patients, challenges in human-human interactions, challenges in social and cultural contexts, challenges related to the features of healthcare robots. Scott is dominant while analyzing in social and cultural context, because Scott enables robots to be distinguished according to the age of the patient or according to the culture of the patient. So Cheetah Tegmark et al. Suggests healthcare robots should play a mediator role instead of having the full control, and the robot should be in an active network, including healthcare providers, caregivers, and other people belonging to the social circle of the person with the health condition. Here you can see the robot doctors and their applications in the news. So today's famous social robots consist of Aibo, Asimo, and now humanoid robots. You could be familiar with them. And as you know, Saudi Arabia gives citizenship to a social robot called Sophia.
And in conclusion, as you can see from our SCOT map, we put the social robots as a center of the our map, and we introduced our problems related to this artifact, with the relation to the social groups, such as developers and governments with the ethics law and policies, and elderly people and children for the safety problems, and the designers to design those robots with the problem of the acceptance and safety. With the acceptance, we have the uncanny valley phenomena, as we explained, with the likability, eeriness, and anthropomorphism. With the anthropomorphism is the appearance of the robots. And in conclusion, we can say that if we approach this case using SCOT theory, we can say that this technology has not reached closure yet, because there are still various designs of social robots. It's still in interpretive flexibility periods, and researches about this topic are still going on. Both human-like and machine-like robots coexist, and so you can say that it's a multidirectional model. Also, from technological momentum perspective, uncanny valley phenomena shows us an example of reverse salience. Humans don't almost look like a human robots, but they look like totally look like a human robots. So if production of better looking robots continues, people will stop to dislike social robots, and this technology might gain momentum. Here you can see our references. Thank you for listening. We appreciate your patience. Here's your cake.